finally, if you look at what's called bread and circuses in ancient Roman times, when Roman emperors became unpopular, the economy was failing. It's called bread and circuses because they put on gladiator games to entertain people, take their mind off of the failing economy, the fact that these emperors were doing terrible jobs as being a leader, and then they would give away free bread to people in the crowd that would come watch these death games. Now, if you look at today, the bread and circuses is also increasing because there's so much emphasis now put on entertainment in the economy. Again, and the whole sole purpose of that is to distract people from reality and from understanding what is really going on. So if you look at the type of quality of TV programs that have evolved over time, they are now spending millions and millions of dollars. I believe, I haven't actually researched this, but just from looking at the quality of episodes, I believe they're spending millions of dollars per episode for TV shows like House of Cards, for Game of Thrones, and all these type of high TV shows that have very, very high production values that mimic the type of production values you would actually see in a theatrical movies did not exist 10 or 15 years ago. And the sole purpose of that, again, is just to distract people from reality, to offer this plethora and abundance of high quality entertainment to distract people. And I believe you couldn't have people like the Kardashians earning, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars is maybe what they're earning. You couldn't have that 20 years ago. But now that we're so, the people, the powers that be, if you want to call them that, are so intent on distracting society away from the economic devastation they're creating, you have all these diversity of distractions, and the bread and circuses is increasing. So my whole point of making this video is, why isn't the definition of success much more diverse instead of just focusing on material wealth? Why don't we say that people that are creative, that are passionate about their pursuits, that do things to make this world a better place, that increase the level of compassion among humanity, why don't we say people like this are successful? We say they're not successful just because they don't make tons of money, because I guarantee you, had I stayed employed by that Wall Street firm, and had I gone on and climbed that corporate path and was making $5-10 million a year now, people would say, oh, look at him, he's so successful, with no regard whatsoever for how I actually earn that money. So why isn't success defined by the other parameters that I just gave? For example, I'll give you perfect examples of people, friends in my own life that I consider to be extremely successful. Alyssa Gonzalez is a friend of mine, a good friend of mine from Los Angeles, and she became so fed up by the lack, actually, again, we have a bear market of honor integrity even in the educational system. So she became so fed up with the fact that the education, the LA Unified School District was not actually teaching kids to think, that she founded her own charter school called the Los Feliz Charter School for the Arts in 2006. And she worked there for 7 years as one of the original founders, and then she moved on to found another charter school called Palm Academy that is in Indio in Coachella Valley in California, 2013. So if you're watching this and you live in LA, and you have young children, want them to get a good education, you should check out, go Google Palm Academy. So I have a lot of respect for someone like Alyssa that took a huge risk by leaving, a steady income, steady salary to basically found her own school that was going to impress upon kids the necessity to critically think. If you look at my friend Jess that lives in Adelaide in Australia, she volunteers every week to help, I believe, because I remember when I went with her one day, it was she was teaching young girls that spoke Farsi. So I believe they're from Afghanistan, because I know Farsi is also the language that is spoken in Iran, but I believe that the young girls she was helping were from Afghanistan. So she was helping them basically to settle in a new country, to feel more comfortable, teaching them English. And yet, we don't look at people like Jess and my friend Alyssa as successful, when those are the people we should be admiring, in my opinion. So in regard to my own personal situation, I felt like helping people was more important than just making millions and millions of dollars a year. And I think that's the successful path. So we really need to take a long look at how we define success as a society. So yes, there may be some billionaires out there that did things the right way without trampling upon many others to earn their wealth, but there is no doubt that actually every billionaire took advantage of this Ponzi global banking scheme that we have to build their wealth. When we look at the fact that we have now global refugee problems that are emanating from the never-ending wars that we're engaging in today, when we have, again, many refugee problems, even for a lot of the countries in the EU, like we have many people emigrating from Greece, from Spain, from Italy, due to the central banker wealth destruction and job destruction that's going on there. I find it really hard to believe that billionaires are good people with a good heart if they're just standing idly by and instead concentrate not helping the billions of people that are suffering in this type of global economy and just trying to accumulate more wealth. Because let me just give you, I know that could be a controversial statement, and a lot of people may say, hey, if you make your money, you could do whatever you want and whatever you want to do with it as you please. And of course, that is a valid point. But what I'm saying is that it's hard to consider these people as good people with good heart when they realize that there's so much suffering going on in this world. And let me just give you a simple mathematical equation that will illuminate the point I'm trying to make. So there's many multi-billionaires out there. So say there's a person on the low end of the multi-billionaire spectrum, they have $2 billion and they make 10% yield every year. Now most of these billionaires are making 20%, 30%, some may even make 50, 60% yield a year because they're the most well-connected people in the world that have access to heads of state, that have access to all the top CEOs in the country, that have access to all the parliament members, all the Congress members. So 10% really is a piddling kind of yield for them on an annual basis. But let's just consider they make a piddling yield. So 10% yield, at a 10% yield on their $2 billion of wealth, they actually have to spend, just to spend the interest, okay, just to spend the interest, and they still have the full principal amount, $2 billion left at the end of the year. To spend that interest at 10%, they would actually have to spend more than $500,000 every day for 365 days a year, over $500,000. So that would actually put them at the ultimate end of the far end of the spectrum as far as greed is concerned, because no one can spend $500,000 a day, and then you're still left at the end of the year with $2 billion. When there's so much suffering that's going on in this world, if you're trying to just hoard more and more wealth, I don't understand why people look at these people as successful when they could be doing so much to help those that are struggling because of the central banker currency wars that are going on, and they're escalating at this moment. So lastly, I want to end this video by saying you can still access, I put up free excerpts to my book, The Golden Gift, that kind of talks about some of these points in this video, and you can basically receive the free excerpts for just about another week longer. Just go to my website at smartknowledgeu.com, sign up for our free newsletter. You'll get the link that'll be active just for about 7 more days to download the free excerpt from The Golden Gift. And finally, don't forget to please comment below. Don't forget to subscribe below. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? And how do you think that the good people in your society can take back more power and actually direct the admiration away from criminally successful people to people that are truly successful, people like my friend Jess, people like my friend Alyssa, and direct that attention towards them, because I think that's the definition of success that we need to start evolving towards. Okay, as always, thanks a lot for watching, and remain intensely curious until next time. So long.